all, this is 012 Boku coming at you with another movie review, and we are getting very, very, very close, mind you, to the end of the James Bond collection. We are getting very close to that end, and I cannot wait. Great, great stuff. Because, not that the James Bond films are bad, but I've been looking forward to getting to, like, the cop films, the adventure films, disaster. I may have put a few of them up beforehand, I can't remember, so like I said, there are going to be times that I do, like, reviews, and we do things such in that nature to, fit the core in the context of what we need to do and what I need to do. Because I know sometimes I do not go back through YouTube to see what I've redone. I know I did a bunch of family pictures. I know I have done anime movies. I know I said I would get to do those anime movies again. I may go back and just redo all the anime films in a certain thing. I may do that after all the action films. I may even do that after, let's see, the let's see, yeah, sorry, I'll tell you really quick. This is how I group my movies now. I do family, family films, comedy, action. Oh yeah, so it's drama, war, horror, suspense, science fiction. So after this one, after action, we'll get to drama and war films, to which we will work on after that at some time. But anyway, getting on to the action films, but that's how we'll group them. So once again, if I redo anything that I had no idea I had done before, I do apologize. That just happens. I'm sorry that stuff got jumbled. Not trying to have it happen that way, but hey, so much only, we all can do. But today, we are focused on the one of right before the last of the James Bond original series of films, which if you're a Bond fan like I do, you know that it's Die Another Day that ended the original run of the series. Which I know Die Another Day is not the best. I mean, I thought it was a good movie, a really good movie, but I know it wasn't the best following any of that. I know some people consider it the worst out of the original series, but nah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's the worst. Like, if you guys sort of want me to tell you right now what I think out of the original series, what somewhat the worst film was, I would have to say in certain circles, like, like probably for just ridiculous and overall cheesiness for it being bad in that way, even though I still enjoyed the movie and I thought it was good, and Michael Lonsdale as Hugo Drax was phenomenal. That would be a Moonraker, because Moonraker is batshit nutty, and in comical ways, not the most entertainment action ways, but it's still a good movie, Moonraker, but it's batshit nutty, and, hey, and then, if you want to talk about a film that, it did a lot story-wise, and it was a good movie, but it was on the boring side a little bit, because I mean, I even admit it's a bit of a boring Bond film. Not that it's bad at all, but it can be a little boring at times, and that is For Your Eyes Only. Sadly, they're both Roger Moore films, but it's just like those two films just sort of like you know. So it's hey. I mean, I admit if there was another one I could group, and sadly it's a Roger Moore movie again, Octopussy as well. Octopussy had a lot of great moments, but once again, the pacing of Octopussy was a little like blah at times. But hey, and I know if we want to debate it right now, a lot of people say, well, Sean Connery's films were like that and stuff. And I'm like, here's the thing though, because once again, with Roger Moore, Roger Moore's films did become just a little bit camp. And at times, they were a little stagnant. Like, Roger Moore, in my opinion, got back to form with View to a Kill. Because View to a Kill was a phenomenal movie. And the other two that preceded it were just sort of like, they were good and they had great moments, great spectacle, and great story, but it wasn't as good as a lot of the films that came after. Because, like I said, a lot of the films from View to a Kill all the way up to this one, and as much as I would like to, put Die Another Day in there, Die Another Day, has its few moments, and let me just say, certain characters that are just like, yeah, uh-huh. And like, it's just like that. And plus, stuff that they did with the effects was like, yeah. But, hey, it was because I wasn't. And I look at that too, and I don't appreciate it, even in current time bonds. But I know we have to head to that because not everything can be done practical. But I will, get to that as we can. And with this one we are on, as I finally get to it, so sorry for my little, 6-minute rant close to there. The World Is Not Enough. Great theme song by Garbage. And because I still have it, pamphlet. You guys know I miss pamphlets being in films. I really freaking do. I miss pamphlets so much. But with The World Is Not Enough, it's great. It's a great film. Once again, done right before the turn of the century, the turn of the, you could say the end or the beginning of the new century, 2000, 2001, whatever you prefer. But with with 1999, it was right there at the end of the cusp, and just like, hey, before we hit the 20s. And this film was actually pretty damn good. Minus her. Don't know if you guys could see that, but flippin' boring, I don't have a personality, Denise Richards. Sorry, I'm not a big fan of Denise Richards. I really don't like her in Starship Troopers either, and we will get to that as well when we get to Starship Troopers. But I do not care for Denise Richards. She did not need to be in this film, and oh my god, we could have done without her, but my god, they had to rope Denise Richards in a James Bond movie. But oh my god. Just like Starship Troopers and any of the movies she's done before, zip to zilch personality. Sorry, Denise Richards, you are not that great of an actress. Maybe you've gotten better now that you're older, but oh my god. Oh, and look. If you want to look at that, there she is again on the darker side of Bond. And there's the villain lady for this film, Electra Nachos, on the light side of him. So you can say the good side of Bond. What's that tell you? Oh man, sorry. We will get into that rant when we get to it, of course. But this film is about a multitude of things where we see the beginning of the film where there is where Bond takes out a businessman who was trying to do illegal selling of substances or something. Like, he takes him and his cronies out in an awesome action scene in the beginning. Goes back to MI6, we have members of MI6 trying to look over these diamonds. Oh, because the businessman was trying to cheat over the main female lead, which is not, Christmas Jones and Denise Richards, but Electra Nachos there. Like, they're trying to screw over Electra Nachos because she, owns diamonds, and she's, a huge business hub. I know it's more than diamonds, but she has huge businesses. I've always seen the film, I think, twice through before, so this one is relatively new to me, so forgive me if I don't know it too well like I did some of the others, so I'm going to do what I can to remember, because like I said, these reviews are done raw and off the cuff, so forgive me if I need a little bit of remembrance. But Bond, who once again is played by Pierce Brosnan, one more to go with Brosnan, because he's almost done. This is right before he's out. But one more to go with Brosnan, and Pierce Brosnan plays it really well again in this one. And we have Bond who, gets the diamonds back. I think the auteur or the inspector is going over the diamonds. He has them in a briefcase. He takes them out. What happens is there's this one really good looking female assassin. Like she looked very hot in this film. I would say that the female assassin in the beginning of the movie looked hot. And what happened is she was in the building. Bond didn't recognize her. Something clicked off in Bond saying, "Wait, how she's wearing, how she's conducting herself, something's going on. Something isn't right." So he sees her leave, and then it clicks in his brain after he's done talking with M, who is still played by Judi Dench, who is very awesome. And once again, she's flanked by Colin Salmon, who plays Charles Robinson. So awesome to see Robinson back again in a third film as well. And what happens is he's trying to run after M and Robinson to get the inspector back because he thinks there's something wrong with the diamonds, like he wants to be sure. So as Robinson and Emmer and Bond are trying to stop the inspector, boom, big explosion in MI6. Doesn't take out all of MI6, but takes out a good portion. Like the inspector's killed, several agents are killed, the men with the inspector who was with are killed, and they're all taken out. Like, and the diamonds are long gone, exploded, destroyed, and it leads to Bond chasing after this assassin, female assassin who we notice. I think she gets in a speedboat that's by the dock right outside of MI6, and there's no other boat, so Bond needs a boat. So he goes to Q's lab really quick, and he jumps in this high-powered speedboat and starts going down the River Thames on England, chasing after her, but she's also on the Thames. And this awesome just speedboat chase assumes. It is like this is still the opening of the film, by the way. This is still the opening of the film, so this is like an epic opening to a Bond film. I wouldn't say it's the best opening, but it is definitely I would say within all the 20 Bond films, it is definitely one of the most epic openings to any Bond film there's ever been. So it's definitely within, I'd say, the top 5 or 10, in my opinion. And as the chase ensues, it's really awesome. And you have things where half the scene is done with Pierce Brosnan driving the boat as James Bond. Another half is done with the stunt double. But once again, being in the awesomeness of actors willing to do their own stunts, a lot of that was done by Pierce Brosnan. And hey, go Pierce Brosnan, great scene. And what happens is you have where the assassin, like, she gets off the boat. She's near this party in Britain and England somewhere. She steals this one inflatable balloon. Like she knocks the guys up. I forget if she kills them or if she just steals the balloon, but she's taken off in it. And Bond sees this. She sees how Bond's still in his boat. I think she does that weird ass salute to that thing, or maybe she doesn't. She just looks at it fearfully or something. I forget which. But Bond, seeing there's a little ramp or jetty that's randomly, once again, it's made for the stuff, but it's like randomly set up there. He guns the superpowered speedboat accused. The boat goes right up the fucking ramp like that and crashes into part of her balloon to where Bond is struggling to hang on because the balloon's going down, and she's hanging on to, I think, one of the side ropes of the balloon as he's hanging on, because he believes he can get himself to safety because he's trying to wait because the balloon before it crashes is going over to a pup tent, a big pup tent that's set up, and he's thinking they can both crash on that and survive because Bond's goal is not to always kill everybody. He can and he has in the originals and as well in the new ones, he has arrested people. Everybody thinks he just kills everybody, but no, he has arrested people or helped governments arrest other people. He hasn't always killed them. And what happens is he goes down to the assassin and he's like, tell me who you work for. And she's like, no, I can't tell you. I can't. And he's like, come on, tell me who you work for. And she's like, no, I can't. He'll kill me. And then in an effort to appease her deal and to appease her fears, he goes, we will do what we can to protect you. Grab my hand. Let me help you. And just tell me who you're working for. And then she looks up to him. She's almost like shocked by his kindness, but she's also fearful. But she appreciates how he's giving her this chance. But she just looks up fearful at him and like that. And she's like, no, you can't protect me from him. And she lets go of the balloon and crashes down to the party below where Bond makes it to the pup tent before the balloon explodes, or crashes into the pup tent too, and Bond survives. And then that's where the film opens up with the awesome garage, song by Garage, "The World Is Not Enough," because it. And "The World Is Not Enough" was not as good as "Tomorrow Never Dies," or in my opinion, "Goldeneye." I know there's a lot of people who don't like Tina Turner's "Goldeneye" out there, but "Goldeneye" was a great song, and I have to say Tina Turner was, really good into that. And hey, but Garbage made a great song for this film, but "The World Is Not Enough." I mean, it was a great cue of, once again, orchestra meets rock band. It was done really well, and it's like, the world is not enough, now, and there's a perfect place to start our love. Sorry, I know I sing terribly, so let me apologize for anyone who watches this right now, because I know I'm a terrible singer. But, you get the idea if you've seen the film, or if you're interested about the film. It is just an awesome, soft rock ballad with orchestra. I thought when you saw that type of beginning, it was going to be more hard and heavy, but they went with the softer parts of it as well. So, really well done by Garbage. And the film continues on to where I think Bond was sort of put on temporary leave, but he goes to M. Robinson, and I believe Moneypenny is there, which Moneypenny is still greatly played by Samantha Bond as well. Samantha Bond still giving, great, great art to the character as well. Because, in my opinion, Samantha Bond is my number two Moneypenny, because she, to me, was a similar great foil like Lois Maxwell. I really love what Samantha Bond brought to the character, and also during this time too, I forgot to mention it in Tomorrow Never Dies. Samantha Bond cut her long hair, because she had long hair in the and Goldeneye, and I loved her long hair in that. And in these other films, it's like she wanted to model more like Lois Maxwell, to where she had it it was more pointed, but she had it short and pointed. And I'm like, oh man, Samantha Bond, you cut your awesome long hair from Goldeneye. It's like, come on, your hair was awesome long. But I mean, hey, I like longer hair more than shorter hair. But that's just me. Some people can pull off the short hair, look awesome. Some people look great in long hair. But that's my little side tangent on that. But yes, Samantha Bond gives great, character to Moneypenny still in this film. You also have Elektra, who, because they found out that the assassin was going after Elektra, or wanted to disrupt Elektra's business dealings, and they were saying that there was this one criminal named Renard, who is played by who's the main villain in this film, played by Robert Carlyle, who if you guys know Robert Carlyle, is Rumpelstiltskin from Once Upon a Time, Gold, Rumpelstiltskin, if you know the show Once Upon a Time. But Robert Carlyle plays Renard to great effect. He was awesome as Renard in this movie. Robert Carlyle was such a sadistic villain in this film, but he was really good for what he needed to do, and his villain is unique. It's where he's had double O agents after him before, and they haven't been able to kill him. They haven't been able to stop him. And he had a thing where a bullet was lodged in his brain, but it didn't kill him. But it disrupted to where he can't feel anything. Like, he can't taste, he can't touch, he can't feel anything. But also, more importantly, he can't feel pain. So in a way, Renard thinks he's invincible because he can't feel pain. And I don't know if you see it. Renard is that guy silhouetted in the back there, and that's him right there for a better look. That's Renard, Robert Carlyle right there. So, Bond and the agents are saying, he's after Elektra, he's going to disrupt her business, or he's going to try to kill her, so, we have to find somebody to protect her, to keep her safe. M, who is still greatly played by, Judi Dench in this film. Once again, great performances from Judi Dench and everybody who's, returning characters in this film too. But M does not want Bond on this mission. She's like, no, 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 you're too hurt. Everything you went through that last time, plus with Electra Nachos, I know you, Bond. I don't want you to start anything. And Bond's like, no, 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 let me do this, let me go through this, we can do this and everything. And, he's like, don't worry, M, you can trust me. I will have Britain's back, Electra Nachos' back. I will protect our economic interests as well as the country's interests. I will not start anything. And, oh, that's what it was. Electra Nachos' father, which Electra took over, she, or no, Nachos. I'm thinking of Marvel. Sorry, Electra King. Electra King. Apologies, Electra King. I'm thinking of flipping Marvel. I'm thinking of Daredevil. Holy crap. Electra King. Electra King. King's father owned oil fields, so that's what Electra now owns since her father died. Is she owns the oil fields and things like that. So I forget what it was. Diamonds they found in the oil field or something like that. I forget which, but it was something to that effect. So sorry, guys. It's Electra King, and Electra King is played by French actress Sophie Marceau, who is very good. She was very meek and protective in the beginning, but a little spoiler here is I'll spoil it a little bit right now. So if you guys don't like spoilers, well, one, you shouldn't be watching this review, but I'll give it to you anyway right now. Sophie Marceau is the main female villain in this one, if there is a female villain at all, but she is the main female villain, and she becomes such a vindictive person when she turns, like, such a calculating and vindictive person. It's like Sophie Marceau played this beautifully in this film. So, great stuff, most importantly, all around for that at least. And, Bond goes to see Electra, outside of her mansion, promises to protect her, to keep her safe from Renard, to keep her oil businesses safe, because, Renard has attacked her. That's right, she's attacked her oil pipelines and everything, such like that, to where, to the point, where, Electra wants to go, I think it's to the Swiss Alps to ski or to have fun. Bond says, no, we shouldn't go there. Renard's probably watching you, but, Electra's like, no, let's go have fun, come with me, I'm sure you can ski, Mr. Bond, and stuff like that. So they go, and that leads to, parasailers, with the fans on the back and the parachutes on top. So yeah, parasailers with Uzis and little miniguns trying to shoot at them from the air to where, there's, an awesome chase scene, and Bond takes them out in great ways, and there's also other skiers that are skiing with them, trying to shoot at them that Bond takes out, all to the point to where Bond gets rid of the villains, is he causes an avalanche on them, and, he uses this, little, ball thing he got from Q Branch, which is, a thing that can protect them from, I think it's, 1,000 tons of weight or something like that. It protects them and is like a coverage shield. It's like a little protection ball cube, which I forgot because before Bond went on this mission, we had the Q's lab where Q gets all the gadgets ready for Bond and all the cool stuff, his new car and everything too, which I forget what type of car it was, but he gets a new car in the film too. And what happens is he actually gets to meet Q's assistant, whose name is R. And R is greatly played in this film by John Cleese. So John Cleese was sort of, in 1999, being groomed as the replacement for Q, because the original Q, or as he was telling Bond at this film, Desmond Llewelyn, saying, just call me, Major Boothroyd, because, he's like, I'm stepping down. And it was this great moment to where, Q was saying, hey, Q Branch will always be there for you, because remember, if it wasn't for Q Branch, like I said all those years ago to you, you would have been dead long ago. And Bond's like, yeah, you're probably right. And he's like, You know, he's like, because I believe Q gives Q gives Bond like one final thing. I think Bond says once again in one of the famous lines, you got to be joking again, Q. And he's like, once again, Bond, I never joke about my work. And then there's this awesome thing where I don't know if that's how it ended, or if Q said this, or if Desmond Llewelyn is Q said this immortal line. But before Desmond Llewelyn leaves the show for the final time ever, he gets on the platform, says the line to Bond, and goes slowly downward as the tech team is dealing with R because he got trapped in the cube, testing it out for Bond, and he's like Major, or no, because Q hit the thing on him. And he's like Major, woo, like it swallows R. John Quiz up whole. It's like really hilarious, but we just see Desmond Llewelyn go down and just descend in the depths. They're just staring at each other. It's like, even though we've had a rocky relationship, fun times, good times, you've been there for me in a lot of my missions, I respect what you do. And same thing with Q. I respect what you do, James. And it's like, farewell. It was a great send-off to Desmond Llewelyn, and it really makes you feel sad because for those of you who don't know, I didn't know this either, but Desmond Llewelyn died in 1999. Like, he died, I think, like only a month after this film came out. Like, he died a month after this film came out, and it was sad to see. But I mean, what a great man to play that character for so long. Because no matter who you get in the role, like whether it was John Cleese continuing the role, which believe me, I wish they would have had John Cleese continue on as Q in the new movies too. I think that would have been cool. But they chose that young guy, which eh. Eh, I do not like the new Q. I'm sorry for whoever plays him, but I cannot stand a young Q. To me is too weird. A young Q is way too weird for me. Like, I mean, he should have at least been late 30s to early 40s. I mean, like a Q who is maybe early, mid, late 20s, maybe early 30s is like, yeah, that's weird. But hey, I'm not one to gaggle for it, but yeah, like Desmond Llewellyn is Q. No matter who they get it in the Bond films coming up or whatnot, Desmond Llewellyn is forever Q. Nobody else will probably do it as good as he did. Forever immortalized, forever immortalized Desmond Llewellyn. Rest in peace, you great sir. You've given us so many good years of entertainment, so many good years of gadgets, fun. I know you always said in, audio commentaries and special features, you've never understood what they were talking about, but you sold it greatly, sir. There will never be another Q as good as you. So farewell, Desmond Llewellyn. Rest in peace again. You are missed. But you've given us so many great memories. And anyway, getting back to it, sorry I forgot that one, but I forgot Q, Desmond Llewellyn is Q's final appearance. But as the film continues on, we have, we have where Bond goes to a casino. He meets Valentina Zukovsky again, who owns this casino, because he's trying to get information on Renard from him while he's also watching over Electra King, who's there with him. And, it's a usual banter. Valentine does not want to give him the information. Bond sort of forces it out of him. And, it's like hilarious banter back and forth. Robbie Coltrane is so good as Valentin Zukovsky. And I remember when they get the information out of him, they go to a thing where Zukovsky sets up a trap with MI6 to trap Renard at the oil fields. And what happens is while Bond is with, you have wait, yeah, this is where Christmas Jones comes in, because like he meets Christmas Jones at this oil field, who's this worker for Electra King, who he's bantering with as well, having a good time, trying to figure things out, even though he's already been, because like at the casino, that's where him and Electra King sleep together, where they're having their relationship. They can't take each other's eyes off him. I think Elektra calls James, you're my white knight, you'll protect me, and all the like sensual gaggle you've come to love with these films. But what happens is he meets Christmas Jones there, thinking Christmas Jones is just a worker there at a oil fields. And what happens is you have where Electric King is there, and you have MI6 watching this, and you have oh yes, Renard show up to try to take out both Elektra and Bond and Christmas Jones and all the other workers there, because they're trying to get access to one of her main pipelines to I forgot what they were doing. They were trying to get access to something there. And Renard and Bond fight it off at first, as well as you also discover Christmas Jones joins in the fighting with Denise Richards, who, oh God, and I have to say, it's Christmas Jones. Christmas in July. Oh God. I wish they would have kept Denise Richards out of it. I wish I understood the scene better, but I can't really remember that scene at all. Partly because a lot of the scenes that had Denise Richards in it, I did my best to pay attention to, but at the same time, I'm groaning the entire time because her acting, Denise Richards' acting, is so friggin' flat. It is so flat. I don't care for her acting. I apologize, folks. I wish I liked her more as an actress, but oh God, I do not. But you find out that Christmas Jones I believe she's with the DEA, and she starts helping Bond and Elektra out, and I believe Renard Renard was switching off bombs that they had fit into the oil mine, and they were blowing up things in this old oil mine, trying to capsize them and bury them in the mine, or not capsize, cave in the mine, and they escape as usual, but not before hard things. And Bond almost got to Renard, but Renard slipped away down the mine shafts or up the mine shafts before Bond could get there. So now they know that Renard is trying something, and he's targeting Electra King's new oil line that I believe she was putting in this oil line because it was going to be free oil for not only the eastern countries but for the western countries. This was going to be a distribution of oil that would have benefited the entire world that Elektra was trying to do. And what happens is there's a part where Bond and Christmas Jones start to say that we need to work together on this. We need to bring Renard down. Let me go with you. And we have a message from Renard saying that he put a bomb in one of Elektra's pipelines, and Renard and or not Renard, Bond and Christmas Jones go to dismantle it. And what happens is, while this happens, we have Elektra with her bodyguards with her. We have them in MI6. Charles Robinson was waiting for them on another end. I believe Moneypenny was luckily still back at MI6, because what happens is when Jones and Bond get to the place they go, they realize they get the bomb there. They see the bomb, but they can't dismantle the bomb. And this is where Elektra, like I mentioned before, for those who didn't want to have it at the beginning, where Elektra King turns turncoat, and Bond and Christmas Jones can't dismantle the bomb. Bond and Christmas Jones knows something's wrong, so I think what they do is they use the bomb's momentum. They push it away from them to where the bomb is going down the new pipeline she built, and the bomb explodes. And M is thinking that Bond and Christmas Jones both got killed, but as soon as the pipeline explodes with the bomb, that Jones and Bond are nowhere near, because they kicked it away. But Elektra didn't know this, and neither did M. What happens is Elektra and her bodyguards kill all of M's guards who are with her, sadly, and they're holding M hostage, and they basically kidnap M. And what happens is you have Robinson showing up outside the pipe to where Bond and Christmas Jones climb out of, Robinson tells Bond, I can't reach M, I can't reach headquarters, nobody's talking to us, I can't reach, nobody. And Bond tells the suspicion that he thinks that Elektra had double-crossed them, which, once again, she did. She locks M in this tower because they go to Turkey. Turkey is where some of the Caspian oil fields are, and they go to Turkey to where, M is, locked up in this one place where there's this clock that Elektra has that says, you're going to watch this because soon your time, as well as James Bond's, will run out. She's being all sensual with M and all demure, Elektra really turns into this witty evil vixen. It's quite good how Sophie Morceau just became this evil bitch. And so she does that to M, so she's holding M in Turkey. We don't know what for yet, but what happens is you have Bond going back to, I think, Valentin Zukovsky's caviar farm, which is right outside of Turkey, I believe. And, they're trying to talk to Zukovsky, because Zukovsky sort of knew what was going on with Elektra, but he didn't tell all of MI6 everything he knew. So there's this part where Bond dumps, Valentin in the caviar, to where he's almost drowning him, saying, you better tell me what really was going on, or, I'll drown you. So Valentin comes clean, saying that Renard and Elektra were together. He didn't know what they were together for, but they wanted to know plans of the oil fields in the Caspian Sea. And what happens is, during that time, as Bond and Christmas Jones help Valentin out of the caviar, there's these two helicopters that come up out of nowhere and start firing at them from the docks. So the docks are exploding and things. Bond's weaving and diving, and he uses his new car to take out the helicopters. And a scene I fully can't remember. I know there's a lot of action, and it was a really good scene where he was using. Oh, it was BMW. Yeah, it was a BMW of some sort. I don't remember what BMW it was, but it was a BMW he was using in that one. And takes out the car with secret missiles and little saws that he has in the car that tear up the rotors, and takes out the helicopters. And then that's when Valentin learns that one of Elektra's companies fund a nuclear submarine that his nephew is a captain on. Valentin Zukovsky's nephew is a captain on, and they're getting the idea that, Elektra's going to use this nuclear submarine to blow up the underground oil fields in the Caspian Sea with a nuclear bomb, to damage them, to not only cause, probably huge havoc in Turkey, because I think they would say that would cause some sort of tsunami in Turkey, killing everyone, including M. So that's what would kill M, is the explosion and the tsunami. But it would damage the water oil fields in the Caspian Sea so much that Elektra King's oil would be the only one that would be of use, and Renard and Elektra would get all the money from it. So it's wow, that's really messed up. And it goes on to where I believe Christmas Jones sneaks aboard. Well, yeah, what happens is while they're setting up the plan, you have, Zukovsky's nephew and his men show up in the Turkish base. You have Renard, Renard and his men pretending to be these chefs that feed the sailors. The sailors sadly get poisoned food, and they all die sadly from the poisoned food. So they kill all this platoon of soldiers on the sub. So that's sad to see. I mean, because yes, they may be Russian, but they weren't doing anything wrong, and that's sad to see. These soldiers get cut down in their prime, and for an unfair, heinous act such as this that they're going to do to the Caspian oil fields. And, I think Christmas Jones sneaks aboard the sub to try to, stop it. Because the sub hasn't dived yet, but, they're sneaking aboard the sub. She sneaks aboard the sub to stop it. You have Bond trying to go see Elektra. And by this point, too, you had M, who broke away by herself because she got the clock that Elektra was having her watch, and she uses the parts of the clock to, like, lock pick the lock. Because, oddly enough, nobody was watching M, so that was stupid in itself. But, like, she lock picked the lock in a great way to get out of there. And you can see how Judi Dench was like, oh, I should do this. I'm not a field agent, but, I have to do what I have to do. And seeing M get annoyed was great at that, but that was cool seeing how Emma's Judi Dench, got out of that situation. Or Judi Dench's M get out of that situation. Should have been the other way around. Sorry about that. But you have it where Bond goes to see Elektra. Bond actually gets captured by Elektra, and he's put in this torture chamber in Elektra's bedroom to where, like, the neck is going to get stretched out, and it'll, like, literally snap or break. It'll either break or snap the neck or snap off the head completely. And, his arms are tied down like this. Like, basically, he's like this, and his neck was going to go up like that. And, he's being tortured and things like that. What happens is you have Valentin Zukovsky coming in, telling Elektra's men, oh, hey, has my nephew come aboard, as a sub launch. And then he sees how Bond is in this situation, and he sees all these men around him. And, he's looking at Elektra, and he realizes, seeing the look on Elektra's face, that his nephew's dead. He tries to take out a gun. I believe he takes out one of the guards, but then, like, the rest take him out, and what happens is you have, like, Valentin Zukovsky, laying there, he's dying, but, like, he takes out his cane, twists something on his walking cane, uses it to point, and it looks like he's, no, I forgot. Zukovsky took out the rest of the men, but he got shot by Elektra, and, like, while Elektra's watching him die, he twists his cane, and he points it to where, like, she's thinking, like, oh, God, he's pointing it at me, like, am I going to have anything to stop this? Because I think she was out of bullets, so she couldn't shoot him or something like that. But where, he thinks, or where she thinks he's going to shoot him, he actually shoots Bond, what looks like to be in the arm, but he shoots a part of the metal cuff that was holding him, I think, on the left side, and he grins at Bond before Zukovsky dies. So, yeah, that sucks that Valentin Zukovsky had to die in this film. But, once again, Robbie Coltrane played an awesome character in this film. And, he was just great. Plus, he had an awesome goatee in this one instead of where Goldeneye he was clean shaven. So, he had an awesome goatee in this one. So, that was cool to see, too. But, yeah, it sucked that Zukovsky had to die. So, that was the sad thing, too. Because he was another good ally in these films. And it was good to see him back for a second film in this one. But what happens is, you have Elektra looking at Bond to where, like, Bond, Elektra looks at Bond, and she says, wow, even now, Zukovsky really hates you, and she's teasing Bond. So give me a minute, I am getting really dehydrated here. Oh, boy. Oh, man. Oh, believe me, if you guys are podcasters, you probably have a great idea how much having water really helps. Oh, man. That really, throat was getting dry and a little sore just from all this talking because it's a lot. And once again, if you want to know, it's 43 minutes in. Not trying to have these videos go on, but I get so into these films, and I apologize about that. But, like, you have, like, Elektra taunting Bond, thinking that Zukovsky tried to kill him. But what happens is Bond has his arm loose, so he's trying to stretch his arm out to where he stretches it out. I think he backhands Elektra back towards the bed, and, like, she loses her gun to where Bond, gets up the other arm, and he wrenches his neck out of the seat to where he won't be stretched anymore. But he picks up the gun that Elektra was using, he picks up a gun that Elektra was using. So Elektra was just staring at him. She didn't shoot him again, but she was just staring at Valentin Zukovsky to see what he'd do. I forgot about that, because Elektra still had ammo in the gun. And, she's like, Bond, you won't shoot me. And she's picking up the walkie because she was the one that had to tell Renard to dive to use the nuclear submarine to blow up the Caspian Sea to destroy the oil fields. And what happens is Bond's like, I'm not going to ask this again. Do not tell Renard to go. Call Renard off. And he's really serious, eyes squinted, because deep in his mind he doesn't want to shoot Elektra because deep down he still does love her, but at the same time, Queen, country, and the freedom of the world again are at stake. And he's like, this is my job. As much as I love you, this is my job. Back down, or I will kill you. And what happens is she just has that, that sly grin, that dive, and she yells into it like that, and he just point blank. I don't think he shot her in the head, but I think he shoots her right in the middle of the chest and kills her instantly. And you can see how he has remorse, but once again, you do what you have to do because this woman did betray you, and she's gonna cause havoc and destroy a lot of the oil fields and cause panic and chaos, and kill a lot of innocent people in Turkey, no less, with the nuclear bomb and tsunami to boot. So, you have to do what you have to do. And, Bond did it, and I'm glad he did it. I'm glad he didn't have Folger at that, because Elektra needed to be stopped. And it's like, you feel bad for a bit, but it's like, this was an evil person, and she got her just desserts. So, Christmas Jones is on the sub. You have Bond, CM. He talks with them for a little bit. He tells them to call support, to get out of here, to, do what you need to do. He gets aboard the sub right at the last minute. He boards it, and they're going to try to stop Renard. They take out some of Renard's thugs, and what happens is, Renard is setting up the sub, because I think they were going to have the sub have a nuclear meltdown that was going to cause the explosion in the sub, and they were going to, use that to blow up the oil fields. Because, for Renard was thinking, well, this is a one-way mission for me. Elektra's going to get all the money. Hey, great stuff. And what happens is Bond, Renard, and Christmas Jones, get into this fight. It's mostly Renard and Bond. They're battling back and forth to each other. They're doing what they can to put the cooling rods back in to have it cool. And as Bond and Renard are fighting, you have the sub sort of going all around. It's like going upside down because nobody's driving it. It's sort of out of control a little bit. And they're having a fight, inside the reactor. And as it's getting ready for critical meltdown, there's one more rod that has to be inserted, and I forgot how it was done, but you had Christmas Jones and Bond working together. They take, Bond takes the rod from her, and at the last minute goes right through Renard's stomach. I forgot how he launched it, but he launched it somehow, and it lodges right in Renard's stomach, right in the last part where the cooling rod had to be, so they avoid the nuclear meltdown, stop Renard, and as usual, because I probably don't care to do it, because when they're trying to track Bond and Christmas Jones in Turkey, because they can't find him, there's a thing where Bond and Christmas Jones are making out, Denise Richards with her hammy acting, Pierce Brosnan with his good, and they find him with the body heat, because R's helping them find him, and they find him with the body heat. And I forget if it was, I think it was Moneypenny who switched off the infrared cameras so they couldn't see it, because Moneypenny got pissed right away. You could tell she was upset by that, because it's like, really, James? Really? But yeah, they made out and did a good thing, and, the movie ends. And, lots of good action in this movie. Good action. As you can see, pretty good story. A lot of, deep and great details. Great characterization. Sophie Marceau, Robert Carlyle were excellent. Judi Dench was excellent. Seeing John Cleese's R was a great fresh change. Desmond Llewelyn's final performance was epic. And I'll even give it to Denise Jones. Denise Richards She is boring in this film, but ultimately, Denise Richards, I will admit, does okay. She is not great. A lot of her scenes in this movie are, as I just did there, hopefully correctly, roll your eye moments. But she did all right. And let's see. Oh yeah, great score again by David Arnold. David Arnold with another really great score for this film. And let's see. Uh, oh yeah. The guys who wrote a lot of the James Bond films after this were not Neil Purvis, sorry, Neil Purvis, Robert Wade, and they even got the writer from Tomorrow Never Dies in this one again too, Bruce Fierstein. So yeah, Neil Purvis and Robert Wade sort of become the regular writers for Bond, I believe, onto this point. I don't know if they wrote Skyfall or Spectre, but I know they did a lot of the James Bond films up to Quantum of Solace, from what I could tell. So I have to check out the other Bond films again to see if they still wrote it. But I know they wrote up to Quantum of Solace to this point. So they become the regular Bond writers at this point. Once again, produced by Michael G. Wilson and Barbara Broccoli. Great work from those two. And Michael Apted, I know I've sort of heard the name before, Michael Apted. I forget, he mentions some of the films in the audio commentary that he does, but great film, also directed by Michael Michael Apted. It was really cool to just see him being a part of this film. And he did another good one. And you have to say that all three directors, since there was nobody who continued it on, I really would have loved if Martin Campbell after Goldeneye would have came on to do more. Martin Campbell comes back, and I believe I said this a long time ago in that earlier review because I know I already did Casino Royale, but Martin Campbell comes back up out with Casino Royale, and you can definitely see how the similar styles of Goldeneye and Casino Royale come into play, because Casino Royale was such a great film. Daniel Craig's best one, in my opinion. But, Michael Apted did a great job on this film. The world is not enough. I know, once again, sort of like with Tomorrow Never Dies, a lot of people hated these two films, and even Die Another Day. But, these two were not as bad. Tomorrow Never Dies and The World Is Not Enough are, in my opinion, a few leagues better than Die Another Day. Die Another Day is not a bad film either, but, just for, like, what they did with the stunts, the story, the play, the screenplay, the music. I mean, just great stuff. The World Is Not Enough is a good film, and I also think Tomorrow Never Dies is too, along with Goldeneye and stuff. So, like, sorry, I know I'm putting that down, but what do you guys think of The World Is Not Enough? Is this a movie that you liked? Did you think it was really good, or do you think it's like a little like hammy or blah at some point? Because I have to say, after I saw this film again after a long time, really loved it. My rating for this would be, I would give it, I think I gave Tomorrow Never Dies an 8 out of 10, I think, if I remember. So like 8 or 9 sort of shifted. But this I would give a solid 9 out of 10. Really good film, really good movie, very enjoyable. So, hey, gotta love it, minus the few cues, and you, Denise Richards, you, haha. Oh, I do not like you. Sorry, I know my hatred of Denise Richards aside. But yeah, just leave down below what you thought about it. Thumbs up if possible, or if you have to, thumbs down, or, anything like that. But, just let me know what you guys think, because, I would love to hear your comments. Some people comment, and I hope the people who are commenting on my videos are not bots. I know the people who've commented on Hunchback of Notre Dame have not been bots, but I know I've gotten some of my recent videos that have been like that. I'm hoping those are not bot comments, because now that I know that bots exist, that doesn't fill me with joy that people just go, oh yeah, your stuff is good, but you'll never see us again because we just pop up during random videos just to troll. Whatever. Whatever. I enjoy what I do here. But yeah, just let me know what you guys think. Just leave a comment down below, and just let me know. And till then, this is 012 Boku coming at you with another movie review, and I will see you guys again later. Deuces.